August 28th, Saturday. It's around 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time as we begin to track Hurricane Ida's final approach here into the northern Gulf of Mexico. Where I currently am is Dauphin Island, Alabama. So I have my wife with me, who is always a soldier when these things come close, of carting me around to make videos for all of us. Anyway, what I always like to do is, as we kind of get on the final approach of these big storms, is come out and give you an idea of how vulnerable we are on this little island of Dauphin Island. So to my direct left is the beach. So these are all beach houses right on the beach. So I'll pan slowly across this road, and to my right, and on the other side of those houses there, is the bay. So for this storm and the impacts here on the island, as the high pressure that is just kind of hanging down through, cuts right through Mobile County, and kind of goes back east. So the high pressure is steering Ida on the same path that it has been on, northwest, with a landfall somewhere around the New Orleans area as a strong Category 4. Here in Dauphin Island during Katrina, the west end where I'm headed now was absolutely devastated. It was a game changer. There was a pier here on Dauphin Island. When I was a boy, there was water underneath, and now there is sand, and it's a very long pier. So if that gives you an idea of what that storm did here when it made landfall about 150 miles as the crow flies away, then you can expect what Ida will do here potentially once again. The timing is going to be important. If the tide is high or coming in when Ida makes landfall to our west, then the storm surge will be much higher here. If the storm surge is 4 to 7 feet at high tide, there'll be water all the way across this road, going all the way to the other side. So in other words, this side will be cut off. It will be impassable. If the tide is low, we'll still have water that at 4 to 7 feet that'll come across this road from where those houses are. You can probably see the water right through those houses. I mean, there's the water right there. But we'll have water still all the way across the road, but I don't think it would put these houses into peril in terms of water intrusion, because they're all on stilts. But I'll get out up here in just a moment. Hurricane Ida passed over Cuba late last night after my last video. It did not hamper the wind speed very much at all. I went from 85 to 80. The barometric pressure jumped by 2 pressure points from 985 to 987. She cleared Cuba last night, and it jumped right back up to 85 mile an hour winds and 985 millibars worth of pressure. So she's already started to strengthen, and the rapid intensification should be beginning very soon. So we'll go out up here at the beach, and I'll show you some stuff out at the beach. So as we get down further towards the west end, I'm approaching the very west end, you can already see that it was high tide this morning. All the energy in the Gulf and the water's churning. It's already put water across the road. Again, this is not from necessarily the effects of the storm itself, but residual effects. In other words, the energy, the ocean churning, with nowhere for the water to go except push north and end up on the shores here. So again, it gives you a really good look. There's the water just on the other side of that dune. Here are the houses, and there's the other side of water over there. Beautiful house there, by the way. So here we are at the surf. Yeah, and you can just park there, but here we are at the surf. So nice little day for out riding waves. Let me pop out. So truly a beautiful day here, but that will change. So what am I looking at? In that direction where that rainbow is, I don't know if you can see that, but that's a pretty cool rainbow. Destiny. Excellent. I hope you can see that rainbow. Don't forget to hit the like button for the rainbow. Hey, you got to subscribe for that rainbow. That's beautiful. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. But anyway, in the direction that I'm fixing to point, in that direction, is Louisiana. We can get in boats here on the island, launch the boat, and I'll go over to the east end and show you where that launch would be. But we would launch the boat to my left and come out here offshore, scoot across there and go fishing off the boot of Louisiana, like off Grand Isle, Louisiana. There's a lot of great fishing, and it's easier to fish in deep water just off the tip of Louisiana. So the tip of Louisiana literally is just off in that direction. So a lot of people are like, well, I'm not going to worry about the hurricane coming to Dauphin Island because the center is going over New Orleans. But what people don't understand is the boot of Louisiana, because we are way out here in the ocean, is just off in the distance. So what will occur is this storm will come across from my left. The eye of circulation or center circulation will come across, make that turn to the north into, or more northerly turn, and go on shore in Louisiana, leaving that right front quadrant of this storm to affect the likes of from New Orleans all the way maybe to the Florida Panhandle. But definitely the Mississippi coast is going to get battered, and definitely here's going to have a rough go. That I can assure you. So again, this is the very west end of Dauphin Island. This is the Gulf of Mexico side, and on the other side of that dune there is the Mobile Bay side. That's the way my house faces when I go back there. But this is the vulnerability of this small island. Let's go take some other shots elsewhere, but this storm is coming, and this is just the calm before it. That I can assure you. Definitely give a shout out to Carla. She has been a soldier with me for 3 years doing these type storms, and I drag her out, and she always does it with a smile, and she helps me answer all your questions, or let me know that there's questions coming in. Because a lot of times my phone is in operation doing these videos, but we give a big shout out to Carla. Don't forget to subscribe for Miss Carla here. Awesome lady, 5 kids. So this is definitely the final approach of Ida. You don't have much time if you are in anywhere close to the right front quadrant of this storm. So New Orleans to say the coast of Mississippi, let's say to around the Gulfport area. Ryan Mason out there, a weather tracker friend of mine that's going to be doing videos this afternoon in Mississippi, I think he's going to get battered as well. I think we'll get it just as bad here on Dauphin Island as those will just on the Mississippi coast. Why? Because we're out here in the ocean, so we get basically what coastal Mississippi gets, but sometimes worse. So right now she's moving northwest at 16 miles an hour and has entered in that hot, deep water zone that is so conducive to rapid intensification. So as I do these videos today, put this as a mark. As I started this trip this morning, 85 mile an hour winds, 987 millibars of pressure, and that was at the 7 a.m. intermediate update, with the 11 o'clock update being the next big one. So when we get closer to that time, I do next video, I think we'll start to see a better organized storm. It was very organized at the 7 a.m. intermediate update, but the hurricane hunter's already left. So I can assure you at the 11 a.m. update, you're going to see a pretty big uptick in the strength and the shape of this storm. All right, I wanted to show you this graphic, which isn't a huge deal in terms of where I'm going with this. It's more along the lines of if you're in a certain color area and you can get out, I would get out. Again, when you look at the storm right now, you're like, 85, 80 miles an hour. The pressure went up 2 little millibars when it hit Cuba. Maybe it won't be that bad. You're wrong. It is in a funnel of energy. This area right here where I just drew that blue line is very, very warm water, and it's deep. The worst place for this hurricane to travel through, it's about to go through. So rapid intensification is highly likely. So if the center of circulation came across right where this X is, the worst area is going to be about 125 miles to that right front quadrant, or where I just made that 90-degree angle. So I would say if you're in, I would say even, keep your eyes on it, Dauphin Island. But I would say from the west end of Dauphin Island, be really cautious about staying there, just because of what I saw during Katrina. Now every storm's different. However, Mississippi Gulf Coast, into Slidell, Grand Isle, all of like Venice, Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, if you have the ability to get out, I would definitely think about it. Because this storm is going to pack a punch. But if you look at the coloring, you see that the brown is 50 to 60 mile an hour sustained winds, and the purple is 90 mile an hour plus sustained winds. Now remember, this is forecasted to come ashore as a Category 4, 140 mile an hour winds, and a Category 5 isn't out of the question. That's what I thought it would do yesterday. Some of the intensity models have kept it as a 4. I still think it has a chance though, but hey, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But difference between 4 and 5, they're both life-threatening. Get out if you can. But it's going to be a long day tomorrow, and we should start feeling effects, I would think, some very outside feeder bands late tonight, later this afternoon, and then get landfall sometime tomorrow evening, maybe around 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And then high tide the following day is at about 2 in the morning. So if this thing makes landfall at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, 10, 11, 12, midnight, and the tide's coming in, the storm surge will be bad, not as bad as if it made landfall at midnight, but the storm surge will be bad enough no matter high or low tide to be life-threatening for sure. All right, a quick look at the latest model runs. You can see that not a lot has changed, and it hasn't. So I do have to tip my hat to all those meteorologists that do this obviously professionally and have all the computers and so forth, because it's been pretty much right on the whole time. But why is that? There's a high pressure ridge that is running right through this area. Hopefully you can see that line. I'll draw it again, but right through this area. So there's a high pressure there. So the system is traveling along that high pressure ridge. So, and the high pressure ridge hasn't backed up a bit. So that should, or more than likely, will keep that center of circulation a little bit to the west of us here. But again, that's not great news for anybody, because number one, New Orleans doesn't need to, can't handle a storm of this size. I think they'll handle it better than Katrina. Even though the storm may be bigger, but nonetheless, they're in a fishbowl there, so that's difficult. Then you have coastal Mississippi that for the most of it's below sea level. Here on Dauphin Island, which is for the most part below sea level, and we're on the right side of that storm. So we will still get that southeasterly flow and that storm surge with the rising tide. But that's what's keeping these models in place. And again, there's some low-level, low-pressure in this area that's keeping it from moving too far west. But the center of circulation looks to make a Louisiana landfall, which makes a really bad day for all of us in that right front quadrant. All right, I came out here to the east end of Dauphin Island. I can't go any further right now because there is some police there that have that side blocked off because there's people down there, I guess, for some type of event. But this is our ferry that connects Dauphin Island with Gulf Shores, Alabama. So Mobile County with Baldwin County. So that ferry takes people across so they don't have to drive all the way to Mobile, all the way across the bay, all the way down the interstate on the other side. It can end up just right there in a few minutes. So it's a pretty cool deal. Anyway, here's the east end. You can see these dark cloud tops behind me. Once these cloud tops start kind of rolling in, it's going to be squall after squall after squall. Luckily, the tide's falling today, so I don't think we'll see too much of a high tide crest or too much in terms of water intrusion into my yard where I'll be doing the filming until tomorrow. But we'll see. We'll get a mark on that and keep track of storm surge height. But this is beautiful. I love being out here, but this is just the calm before the storm. It's going to be a very interesting couple of days, and I really urge anybody within, say, 50 to 100 miles of the right side of that eye, when it forms, and it's going to form, I recommend everybody that can safely get out of there. We are going to stay here no matter what. Now, don't forget that some of these storms, they will wobble. So they'll get really powerful and they'll wobble around a little bit. One of the recent storms, if you can remember, leave it in comments. We'll have it as a poll trivia question. There was a storm recently that was about to make landfall maybe 12 hours prior to, and the center of circulation moved by about 50 miles in terms of where they were supposed to make landfall and where it actually made landfall. I'll give you a hint. It was a girl's name, I think. It could have been a Greek alphabet. Now I have to check my math. But anyway, this is the beginning. So get ready. This is going to be an interesting couple of days. Don't forget to hit the sub button, subscribe, and share the video. If you're here on Dauphin Island, by the way, or have property here, every time we get a storm, I welcome people that want me to check on their places, and I usually do a video of it for them, if they want it videoed. I'll always make sure. But if you live here on the island or have property here, let me know. If I can get out, I'll definitely do it for you. I will see you guys the next video, and that video should be somewhere approximating 11 or 12 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, here's a quick look at my app that I use from our local weather station here in Mobile, Alabama. When I say Mobile, we're in Dauphin Island, where the blue dot is, just below Mobile, Alabama, right here. But here you see the latest, forecast track. That hasn't changed in a while. Again, they've done a great job here. It just gets narrower by width as it approaches land. So again, if this is landfall right here, where the X is, right, then this area right here, and this 90-degree angle here is going to get significant impacts, and that we are right there. Now, if I put this little loop into motion, you'll see that some of these outer squalls are about to make their way right here. So I put it into motion, and again, you can see right where we are in that blue dot area, we have squalls that are about to touch down here. So I just showed you off in the distance, and that last segment, you saw the clouds rolling in. Well, here they come. So these will be some of the outside squalls that are being generated from Ida. So it's about to begin in some way, shape, or form, and probably won't stop until sometime in the early morning hours of Monday morning. All right, last segment of this video, you can see that the squalls I was just showing on the Doppler, there they are. So I am standing on the beach side. This is the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm doing this last segment for two friends of ours, Dominic and Aaron, who own houses just behind me. So I started here on the beach so I can give them an idea of where the tide is now, and so all you can kind of have a gauge of what we're going to experience here. So you can see the water coming up, and we have about this much beach until the bulkheads. So Dominic's looking good here. It looks secured, at least for now. Here to the left, we have Aaron's. So they asked me to come down and ask me to actually film it so they could see their houses. Again, it's important to know what's going on with your places. So right now, everything looks good prior to storm, so we'll keep checking on these as well, and see how this storm goes. But again, this storm is going to be intense. If you're in that right front quadrant, immediate near that eye wall, I would get out if you can. It's gonna be bad here, but way worse there. Take care. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Much love to all of you. Keep the comments going. Let's get the chat going. And I'm here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It's a true joy to do it. So all thanks to you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Let's go. Come on, get pumped up. And don't forget, I do this as a hobby, and I don't want to see anybody hurt or property lost. I've been through it. It's not fun. So take this storm seriously. But much love to all, and a big peace out there. Take care. As I like to say, be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. Don't forget that. Be kind. Take care. Much love. Vamos. Let's go.